Right, so this is the first video in a set of 3 all about using Pythagoras in a circle. So a quick reminder on our formula, we have c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So that's our Pythagoras' formula. The best way to identify one of these questions is to ask yourself, am I being asked to find the length of something? And are there any angles given to me? If the answer is yes, you're being asked to find the length, and no, there aren't any angles given, we need to use Pythagoras' formula and we need to identify that right angled triangle to enable us to use that formula. So let's take a look at this first question here. So I've got calculate the length of x. And then I've got this triangle here. Now the first key thing I instantly spot is that one of my lengths here is the radius and this other length here is also going to be the radius. So I'm just going to immediately write down that as 8 centimeters as well. And I want to find out this height here of x. So I need to try and make up a right angled triangle. And the easiest way to do it with an isosceles triangle is to just split it in half. So here I've got a right angled triangle, and I can even have identified it on the other side as well. There I've got my right angled triangle with the angle being in that little bottom corner there. So let me just quickly sketch it out so we can use it. So we've got our right angle, got the 8 meters there, that's going to be x. Key thing, because I am using half of the triangle, that means the bottom there is going to be 5 meters. So then using that in my formula, well, to start off with, I'm having to find the shorter side. So that means I'm using that slight variation of my formula of a squared equals c squared minus b squared. I'm just going to slightly move this so I've got a little bit more space. So that means I've now got x squared equals 8 squared minus 5 squared. So that's going to be 64 minus 25. So that means x squared is going to be 39. And then, remember when we want to find x, we just square root it. So square root of 39, so x equals 6.24, and that's if I was to write it to 2 decimal places. So 6.24 meters. So let's take a look at this other example here. So question 2, same idea. I want to try and make up that right angle triangle so I can find out some of the missing lengths. So I'm wanting to find out this entire length down at the bottom here, x. And I've been given this height of 12 here. This part here is 16, which also means this bit over here is 16. I'm just going to write it down just so I get in the habit of matching those lengths. So again, I want to find out my right angle, and I can draw one quite happily down here, like so. So I'm just going to quickly sketch it out. So I've got that 12 centimeters, the 16 centimeters, and on the bottom, it's going to be half of my value of x. And I must make sure I remember that it is half. It's not my whole value of x. So then same as before, we're going to be using our slight variation of our formula where we've got the a squared equals c squared minus b squared. So that means it's going to be this half of x squared equals 16 squared minus 12 squared. And when I do all my squaring and my subtraction, that comes out to 112. So that means a half of x, that's going to be root 112. And so when I put that into a calculator, that comes out as 10.5830 and so forth. So then all I need to do is I just need to take the answer and times it by 2. I just want to double it to find out what x is. And so then x to 2 decimal places is 21.17 centimeters. Okay, so let's take a look at this next example then. So this one we've got it a bit more in a little bit of context, but the idea is still the exact same. You can kind of see that we have this circular shape going on, but we've just got that bottom part cut off. So it's just important that you do try your best to visualize that entirety of that circle to help with these. So we've got below is a diagram of a tunnel with a circular arc. Calculate the height of the tunnel. So firstly, we've got this bit here, which is my radius because it's going from the center to the edge, and that's 10 meters. So that means from my center to my edge up here, that is also going to be 10 meters. So I'm going to make a little mark of that. So I've got a bit of my end goal already. I know what a good chunk of it is. My issue right now is I don't know this little bit down here. I need to figure that out. I can do that same way I have been doing, in that I've got this right angled triangle here that I can use. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to quickly sketch out the triangle that I'm using. So I've got that 10 meters. I've got that unknown there, which I'm just going to call X. And on the bottom, got a half that. So it's 9 meters. So using my formula, and again, we are finding shortest side again in this example. It's going to be x squared equals 10 squared minus 9 squared. So that means x squared is going to equal 19. So x is root 19, which means x is going to be 4.35889 and so forth. But my height is going to be that 10 meters from before, the radius, plus, so we've got our 10 meters plus this bit that we've just calculated. So 10 plus the 4.35889. And so that's just going to come out as 14 point, and to 2 decimal places, 36 meters. So that's the first video on this Pythagoras in a circle. I've got 2 more to show after this. Let me know if you have any issues, and good luck with the work.